Hey everybody, welcome to Main Street. It is a very Monday-like Tuesday here in the studio as we return from Labor Day weekend. I hope everybody had a good weekend, safe, and hopefully got a chance to relax, enjoy the beautiful weather. I mean, we had some incredible weather this weekend. So it is a very, very Monday, Tuesday. So it's very Tuesday. And we are joined today by our friends, Maddie and Josh from the OSU Extension in Jackson /4-H. And they are going to share with us all of the fun things that are coming up for this month because it is September.
I know.
I mean, how crazy is that it is actually September, that we are in the tail end of 2025.
I know.
So weird. So we will be back after a word from our sponsors with everything happening at OSU Extension for September.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
And we're back. Welcome, guys. It's been a hot minute since you guys have been here.
Yeah.
I know you guys have been busy. You guys had the fair and all of the summer stuff going on and everything. So we are so happy to have you back here.
Yeah, we're starting to move into harvest season. This is where Maddie's time kind of slows down just a little bit and mine just picks up. September is a complete blur. When I blink, it'll be 2026 and we'll be celebrating a new year because it's nonstop until at least November.
Yep. So 4-H is a year-round program. We do things all year long, but the summer is really when it picks up. So the months of kind of May, June, July, and a little bit of beginning of August, I'm just go. But after the county fair hits and we kind of smooth things over, I get a little bit of time to go and just breathe. So now we're kind of rolling into the fall and looking at volunteer training, school-based education. I do a lot of kind of one-off programs related to projects and those sorts of things. So 4-H looks a little bit different in the fall. It's a lot of recruiting. Our 4-H year ends October 31st and begins November 1st. Why? I have no idea. I don't make up the rules. That's a state thing. It doesn't make sense, but that's the way that it works. So we start recruiting after that November 1st and really pushing for kids to join 4-H. And so the fall is kind of that reset of the year, and it's just really nice to kind of be in that season so far. So.
And you get to send all the kids back to school. That's my favorite thing during the fair. We're in the fair office, and we have our FFA teachers helping us in the fair office. And I kept saying, school's in a couple weeks. And they'd yell at me. They'd just be like, Josh, don't say it. I'm like, 3 more weeks, a couple days. And, they like to give me it, but I like to bother them all during fair saying, school's coming. Every time I walked in,
here.
One more day closer.
I don't know who's more excited, dreading. It's very bittersweet.
Mm-hmm.
If it's the kids that are excited or dreading for summer to be over, or if it's the teachers that are excited for the new year, but also like, it's bittersweet. Whether you're a parent or anybody, I mean, it's just, it is. It's like you're excited, like, yay, you're going back, but also like, you lose some of the freedom and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I get it. And teachers, I mean, they do heaven's work. So,
they do.
Yeah. As a parent of 3 kids, trust me, like, first day of school was like, Yes.
So 4-H is actually a program that's very active in the schools. I think a lot of people think of 4-H as a program that is more traditionally after-school club-based, more of an extracurricular just in the summer. But like I said, 4-H is year-round, and we have kiddos that do 4-H in the school systems. And so I brought to you today my school programs flyer to kind of showcase some of the things that 4-H does in the school systems. I know it's really tiny text there. But as you can see, we do a lot. And so I'm in the school probably once or twice a week, if not more often, during different parts of the season, just doing all kinds of different programs. So I have programs that I kind of do more in the fall, and then I have programs that I do more in the spring. But if you're a teacher, a school administrator, somebody that is kind of affiliated with the schools, reach out to me, reach out to 4-H, and we'll happily get you connected. We do a lot of STEM education, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, a lot of ag in the classroom. One of my favorite programs that we do, you can kind of see the kids up there, that second photo down, they're holding a chick. We do a program called Chick Quest. I think we were on the show with it last year, maybe this past spring. And so they hatch chicks in their classrooms and learn all about the chick incubation process. We have programs related to financial literacy. One of my favorites is Real Money, Real World, which is a simulation.
Super important.
Yes.
Super important.
So it's more designed for upper middle school, lower high school students. They get a fake persona. So they get a job, they get a family, and they get, they have to figure out how to budget that salary, pay for childcare, all of those things. And they kind of go through this simulation where they have to make choices about insurance and childcare and what kind of car they want to buy and what kind of house they want to live in. And it's just a really fun program. Can
I sign my adult kids up for that one? Because that would be amazing. Because right now it's, hey, Mom, I got all my information about my insurance from my job. Can you please explain this to me and what I'm supposed to pick?
Yes.
Yeah.
They learn about credit and credit cards and credit scores and all of those sorts of things. It's just a really, really cool program. And then that spinning wheel that you see there is the wheel of chance. So we all know that life has challenges and surprises. So some of the things on the wheel are, you got a $100 gift card for your birthday and you can spend it however you want. And some of it is you blew a tire on the way to work and now you need to put brand new tires on your car. And so it's a really interesting way to show kids that life happens and they have to budget for that. And, they can figure out all of those really cool things. So I just wanted to plug some of the things that 4-H does in the school systems. It's kind of one of my favorite things that I get to do about my job is to get into classrooms and after school programs and work with the kids. And so again, if you're a school teacher, a school administrator, and you want to work with 4-H in your school system, reach out, let me know.
So do you do programs from K to 12? Are there?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We even hatched chicks in preschool this past year. Was a little challenging, I'll admit.
Don't squeeze.
Yeah.
Don't squeeze.
Be careful, be gentle.
2-finger touch.
Yes, but I do programs anywhere really kind of from kindergarten to 12th grade. That's the age group that 4-H reaches. So our Clover Buds are kindergarten through 2nd grade, and then 4-H membership is 3rd through 12th grade. So we can adjust just about any program, anything that we have. One of my favorite things to do is actually take a 4-H project book into a classroom and just show them like, hey, this is a project that you can take in 4-H. Let's do a couple of activities out of it. And so, we can work with just about any classroom, just about any child and kind of take it where they want it to go.
Yeah, one of the things that I found interesting from this fair, because this was my first actual fair season that I was here for like the whole year. And one of the things I didn't realize about 4-H is it's more than just animals and ag.
Yeah.
I was shocked by the quantity of other types of projects that somebody could take on. Art projects and business projects and all of these amazing skills.
Yes.
or hobbies or passions that somebody might have and that they could turn it into a 4-H project. I had absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
I always thought 4-H was just raising animals or taking care of crops, something that was farm related. And to find out, there was like, I lost track of the number. Like I was reading off the list one day. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then there was like a line item that was like, make your own.
Yes.
Like if you have an idea for something, let us know. And, and we'll work with you. So like the possibilities were literally
endless
of any type of project. And what sparked it and how I didn't realize it is we had, I think it was one of the fair royalty was in from one of the fairs, and they were talking about their project that they were taking was in scrapbooking, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a second. Wait. Let's take a step back because I thought it was like, everybody was talking about taking like goats and hogs and cows and things like that to the fair. And I'm like, wait a second, you can take scrapbooking to the fair.
Yes.
How cool is that? And then when he started thinking about, okay, county fair, and there's like always like the quilts and the art projects and the jams and the jellies and the pies and all of those things. Okay, then that totally made sense to me once I kind of put it all together. But I had no idea up until that point that was a thing. In my mind, I always thought it was the animals.
Yeah. So here in Ohio 4-H, we have over 220 official 4-H projects, and then we have what's called self-determined, where you can just make up your own project. They have some idea starters and sort of things, but if you can't find something that maybe interests you, or maybe you've taken all of a certain project and you want to kind of go above and beyond, you can certainly kind of make it your own. But
and self-determined is one of the craziest ones to judge.
Yes.
So tell me about something you had that was self-determined.
Yeah, we went to Highland County and we were just judging. I did a bunch of the ag projects, sat down with them. They're like, you'll do self-determined. We only have a couple of them. I said, cool, that's fine. I had this girl come up to me and she did pigeons.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anything about pigeons, but after that project book judging, I know everything about pigeons. And it's just wild. Like you have these kids with these interests that are really cool that, I would sit down 100 years. I'd never guess you'd do a self-determined project on pigeons.
Yeah.
But there's a lot about pigeons if you go out and look about it.
There's a whole like subculture of pigeon people. Oddly enough, I know this, but there's a whole, not because I raise pigeons, no, but I do know that there's like a whole like they show them it's competitive and people raise them to be competitive and stuff.
Yes.
I had never thought about that as
and
pigeons.
I always tell kids, when I go into schools and I do 4-H promotional visits, and I ask, who likes art and who likes math and who likes science, and I kind of start who likes fishing, who likes hunting. And we kind of go through all of the things that you can do in 4-H that they don't realize are things that they like and they enjoy, but they can take projects in. And so one of the biggest things that I think kids, especially young boys, are interested in is sports, right? And so I don't think people realize that there are 4-H programs that are athletics. There are other states that have youth 4-H soccer programs. And they do national 4-H soccer tournaments. And it's the coolest thing. And so I remember my little brother, many folks know my little brother Ashton, not the livestocky, interested in that side of 4-H. He took rabbits for a few years, but just wasn't his thing. And he did a self-determined basketball project. And every club meeting, he would show us, how to properly shoot the ball. And we would play different games like knockout and cow. And it was just a really interesting way that youth can get involved in 4-H that maybe we aren't quite seeing. Maybe that if people are focusing on the livestock kind of ends of things, because that's what gets the limelight, right?
I know.
We push the county fair and the livestock end of things and the livestock sale. And those kids really do put in the work, man.
Mm-hmm.
They have these projects for months and months, sometimes even years. And they deserve that, absolutely. But I want to show people some of those other things that we can do in 4-H too.
And 4-H is not necessarily the skill. Like the skill is great.
Mm-hmm.
Learning those skills are great, but it's more of just sitting down and talking to people, building that skill, because that's the skill they're going to have to use for the rest of their life.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I did a self-determined project when I was in 4-H, and it was literally we redid our whole basement. We finished our basement, and that's all it was showing them every little step we did, explaining what we did, why we did it, and I learned how to do that, but better yet, I've learned how to talk to people and tell them how I did it.
Yeah. So I think about Ashton and his basketball project again. Every club meeting we would come in, and this little kid, he was probably 8, 9, or 10 years old when he took that project, he would teach, right? And so how many kids learned that skill of teaching others, right? And that's what 4-H is about. So we would come in, and this little kid would stand in the middle of a basketball court in front of a whole club of some of us even high school students at the time, right? And teach us how to dribble a basketball, how to shoot a basketball, and that's, I think, something really special about 4-H that a lot of people don't think about is the life skills behind some of these
Well, I
things.
think it teaches patience for the teacher. It teaches patience for the other people that are sitting there having to, participate in it. They have to listen to something that may or may not interest them. They may find an interest that, like I never thought I'd like basketball, but now in having listened to it for several weeks, oh yeah, maybe I do like basketball a little bit. Or, maybe they're watching basketball with somebody and they're like, oh, I know what's going on now. And the communication skills, like you said, that come from it. I mean, the ability to be able to get your point across in a way that your audience will understand and be able to appreciate, especially for an 8-year-old. I mean, that's pretty impressive. And that's impressive soft skills.
One of my favorite things about 4-H is it's 8 to 18, right? So you have some kids, your clubs are all different types of youth in one club together. So you have 18-year-olds learning from 8-year-olds and vice versa. And that mentorship, that leadership, that friendship that is built is just a really important aspect of it as well. So speaking of life skills, another flyer that I brought for you guys today is actually a program that we're putting on at Cantor's Cave 4-H Camp. Okay. It's called Camp Life. It's in November. I know that's a Buckeyes game, but we will be watching it and we will be having a tailgate and it'll be super fun. So if you have any 7th through 12th graders in your life that you think need to learn some life skills, send them to Camp Life. It's over a weekend, just one night. But they're going to be doing so many great things at this camp. And it's kind of a taste to some of the things that we can do in 4-H. Okay. And so as you can kind of see on the flyer, they'll be learning cooking basics, even car maintenance and car management, financial skills, emergency planning. I mean, just anything that you need to know for life. So a lot of life skill development. And so there's a registration on that flyer. That flyer and that information can be found on our Facebook page and on our website. You can also email me for more information. But I think, that's another program that I wanted to share today that is just all about what we do in 4-H, right?
As a community, we adults are always saying, oh, I wish that kids knew this. And this is the stuff we learned when we were in school. And kids need to know how to do this and this and this. It's an opportunity for them to go for the weekend and at least get a taste of it, if nothing else. And so they're not. I always remember like the first time I got a flat tire, and I was like kind of freaked out by it, like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do now, and how am I going to be able to handle this, and so it was really important when my kids started driving that we practiced that skill. Okay, if you get a flat tire, this is what you do. It's you don't have to get freaked out or you get pulled. I know you're not going to probably cover this during life skills, but if you get pulled over by a police officer or you get in a car accident, it gives you the opportunity to have those discussions and even just basic car maintenance. Yes. Okay, well, let's talk about the car. It's not just, what happens if you run out of gas? I was notorious for running out of gas when I was a kid. So this is like long before you guys. My car did not have a little light on the dashboard to tell me when I ran out of gas, okay? So, at least I don't think it did. But I was notorious for running out of gas. And so I knew what to do when you ran out of gas because we also didn't have cell phones. So I had to go knock on a stranger's door and can I borrow your phone? So I could call my parents, can you please bring me gas? Yeah, it was horrible. So once again, when my kids became, started to drive, it's like, okay, let's talk about these things. Let's not let your car run down to zero. And if you do, let's make sure your phone is charged so that you can call kind of thing. But it is those discussions that you get to have when you start talking about things like financial literacy and credit cards and taking care of your car, basic car maintenance, emergency preparedness. What happens if you're home alone and, you cut yourself? Yeah. Or, back to my kids. My kids made some questionable choices. But one of my kids actually had to give himself the Heimlich. And it was something he learned in Boy Scouts from just basic first aid of how to, give yourself the Heimlich because he swallowed a Lego. Okay, this was not a small child. He was home alone. He was probably 17. So Well, I don't know, and I'm going to make him watch this video too. And I'm sure my husband's going to pipe in on the comments. But yeah, he remembered that from basic first aid, how to throw himself against a couch to be able to dislodge it. But it's those conversations that you get to have in those situations, whether it's Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts or 4-H. Mm-hmm. It's those skills we hope our kids are going to take into adulthood.
And my hot take of the day. My hot take of the day, don't come at me. Not everything needs to be taught in schools, and not everything can be taught in schools. And so 4-H programs, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, I love 4-H. I'm here for 4-H. Just put your kid in something. Doesn't matter if it's 4-H. 4-H isn't for everybody, might not be your fit, but something, right? Because that's where you're going to gain some of those important skills too.
100%. The social skills, the communication skills, whatever it is. I mean, when I found out about the other programs, the non-livestock programs, and that you have to be able to discuss them and have a real conversation about them and know the skill, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that is so much like Boy Scouts, and like it like lit a fire. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally understand where this is going, and it's a lot of the same skills that because 4-H wasn't a thing in our area, and so my kids did Scouts.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of the same types of skills that are developed and expressed too. And just incredibly impressive. And the fact that you yourself deal with kids that are TK to 12, I mean, that is impressive. It's to be able to tailor your presentation to a 5-year-old and an 18-year-old and hold somebody's attention. That is truly impressive. So,
well, thank you. I have one final thing 4-H related, and then I'll turn it over to Josh because I know he's got a lot to talk about. So one final thing, I sent you guys a flyer for our 4-H discount card. So this is a fundraiser that we do every year that we kind of launch at the Jackson Apple Festival, and I know that's coming up very soon. That I'm sure they're going to be on your show.
3 weeks.
Yep. And so our 4-H discount card, we get some discounts from local businesses every year. You can kind of see some of them down there on the bottom of the card. And so that's only $5. I know there are some other programs in the county that sell cards kind of just like this for a little bit more. Every dime and dollar of this goes to support our county 4-H program. We have clubs and kids that sell these throughout the year, but we sell a good majority of them at our 4-H booth at the Jackson Apple Festival. So I just wanted to put that on everybody's radar. I get a lot of questions this time of year about the discount cards. When are they coming? That sort of thing. So they will be at the Apple Festival this year. Every day, go visit the 4-H booth and get your discount card.
Go to the 4-H booth. It's $5. You're investing $5, investing $5 in our community. I mean, and you're getting something for it because I'm sure that you're going to get $5 in discounts off of the cards.
It's a good return on investment is what I will say. Yeah, absolutely.
$5. Invest $5 in our kids. I mean.
Yep. Yeah. So that's what I've got from 4-H today. I just want to say thanks to everybody and thank you for supporting our 4-H program, supporting our kids. We're only up from here, and I think people are really seeing the value in some of the new things that we've got going. This is my third 4-H season in Jackson County, and it's been a hoot. I mean, I've just enjoyed every moment of it. Just getting to interact with the kids, getting to interact with the volunteers, be creative and kind of bring new things about. So I'm just really having a good time. So if you guys have questions about 4-H in Jackson County, my email is allman, ALLMAN .68@osu.edu, or you can call the extension office at 740-286-5044 and ask me a question. All right, Josh, your turn.
Yeah, so we're moving into harvest season, and one of the big things that we're really pounding our drum about, and it's nothing new, nothing different, is hay quality. So hay. So we just had our beef and forage field night last week, and that's one of the main things we covered because if you guys remember, we had a very wet spring, and with that wet spring, we couldn't really have many farmers getting in the fields, couldn't get anything mowed. The grass got too tall. So when you look at our forages, as they start to grow, once they start going out to seed head, they start losing nutritional value. That energy that they use and that leaves, those leaves are what we really want our forages to be like. they kind of shift and they go towards the seeds. So they use that energy to make seeds, and we lose a lot of value. So we had a lot of late first cutting hay out there. So if you've got first cutting hay, I would highly suggest getting a forage or getting a forage test. That's just a simple test where we come out, we drill out a couple of bales, put them and send them out to the lab, and they'll give you a pretty good test. Even looking at now, we're starting to run into the issue where we had too much water at the beginning of the year. Now we don't have enough. So if it's double-edged sword, we want some, but we don't want none at all. We're actually looking where we might be getting into drought range. I have to look at the drought monitor. They come out with the U.S. drought monitor, and I don't know if they've released this week's yet, but we're probably starting to inch back into that area just because our area is getting kind of crunchy. We really need that water for the crops and for the hay, and we just don't have it.
It's been really dry lately.
We noticed that when we were driving through town the other day, and so many of the lawns that were green just a couple weeks ago are already turning to that brown kind of look. And it's like, yeah, it's because we haven't had water in, the last couple of weeks at least. So yeah,
we've
how
had that
quickly it turns.
We had that good water reserve, and now it's basically tapped out. We don't have it anymore, and that causes some issues with our forages. So when we're looking at now, we have more weeds popping up. So we have a lot of foxtail. I've been driving around seeing a lot of foxtail popping up. We've got a lot of nutsage in the pasture fields, and that's stuff that cattle don't like to eat. They might try to, but they're gonna avoid it and not eat it as much. So a lot of things that we get from that forage analysis that you get is one would be the moisture content. And then for this second cutting, I wouldn't really worry about moisture because it's really dry, but moisture is really important when we're looking at our hay quality. Anything between 10 and 13% is typically what we want. Anything that gets above 18% is getting a little dangerous. So that's something that we would have during our first cutting where we had a lot of rain, a lot of moisture in the air where it really couldn't dry out a whole lot. Once you bale up that hay and in the inside of it, it gets that 18 to 20%. That inside core gets really hot. There's a bunch of microbes in there doing a lot of work, causing a lot of heat, and it can actually combust and catch on fire. Yeah, hay bales can catch on fire pretty quick if you're not careful. But also if it doesn't combust, if it's high in moisture, we have a mold issue, and that mold issue causes some issues where the cattle aren't going to eat it. We also have some issues where if it gets late and matured. So like I said, we had a bunch of times where we wanted to eat in the fields, but we just couldn't. We got very stemmy type hay. That's also going to change the palatability. So the cattle also aren't going to like it, and it's not going to digest as well as we want it to. So there's two different measures on this specific hay analysis that tells how digestible that hay is for that animal. And if it's a very high percentage, it means it's not digestible at all. And that causes some issues with our production because we want our animals to eat. We want them to digest it and let it process through them. And if it's not processing through them, they're not getting that energy. So they're taking more energy to digest it, and it's not going towards muscle production. It's not going towards lactation. So we're really looking at a very digestible hay.
And if it's not nutritious, right, farmers have to spend more on feeding other types of feed.
Yeah,
right.
To supplement. Yeah.
Right. So that moves right on down through the next one is it talks about our relative feed value. And that's a big topic if you've got anything at the Farm Service Agency is looking at that relative feed value. That's what they really go off of. And we see a lot of our grass hays, they're typically somewhere around 80 to 100. We see our grass legume hays somewhere between 100 plus. But if it's below 80, relative feed value of 80, that means it's not nutritious enough to supplement or to meet the needs of your cattle. So whenever you see it and it's below that 80 relative feed value, you've got to supplement. And we're seeing a lot of hay this year, a lot of hay that's going to be below that 80, not due to anybody's neglect. It's just that's part of the risk of farming. You've got those years.
Can't control the weather.
Can't control the weather. Last year was a bad year, and unfortunately this year looks like it's going to be just the same for hay quality. Now, we'll have more hay just because we have a lot of first cutting, but it's not really worth a whole lot. So we're going to see a lot of farmers having to supplement, and if they're not supplementing, we can see some cattle potentially starve to death, even if they've got hay in the feeder. So it's really important to know what your feed is, know how nutritious it's going to be, and how much you're going to plan to supplement for those cattle to make sure that they're going to be able to get through the winter perfectly fine.
So for folks that might be watching that maybe aren't farmers, right, that have this is all brand new information to them, they're like, why do I need to know this? Why do they need to know this? How might this affect the food that hits their table?
So this is really important, mainly just because it's mainly for the farmers. It's not really for the people. Like, they don't understand how it works. But if you're going out to buy hay for just your certain livestock, if you're feeding it straight to goats and your goats are eating, but they are losing weight, you notice they're losing weight, it's probably because the hay's not nutritious, and you're probably going to need to supplement with something. So sometimes hay just isn't the only answer. Sometimes you're going to have to supplement with something,
And then
whether that's corn, soybeans, whatever it
may
be.
affect your prices down the road.
I would think that as a consumer, if especially commercial farmers are using the same type of hay, or they're dealing with the same problems, and they have to supplement on a large scale, that that increases the cost to the farmer, which then increases the cost at market as well, I would think. It
can. It all just depends on the markets and everything. So if we look right now, corn and soybeans, it's pretty cheap right now. It's unfortunate for those grain farmers, but this is the silver lining for those livestock producers is corn's pretty cheap. We look at the Midwest, and the Midwest has a booming crop of corn. They said they're looking at probably record highs of amount of corn that's happening. Now, if you look at just as Ohio as a whole, Ohio probably doesn't believe that because we've had such a rough spring and now we're having such a rough fall. Ohio doesn't believe it. But if you look out in the Midwest is producing a lot. And that's really what's driving those market costs. So yeah, it would affect the market, but the cattle market right now is just crazy. It's just on a whole new level. It's unprecedented. And I don't have enough experience to talk about the cattle market, but the grain markets, they just look different just because corn is so popular and soybeans, there's just so much global trade problems, which is kind of happening with our soybeans. So it's starting to rebound a little bit, starting to level out a little bit, but we'll see what happens whenever we get to harvest time.
So if I want a hay test, what do I do?
If you want a hay test, we have a hay probe that we can rent out to you, let you have, and go take your hay samples, or I can come out and do it. We also have Danny Barger. I know a lot of people know Danny here in Jackson County. He does a lot with hay. So he does the same services I do. So we don't compete. He goes out, he takes his hay samples, and if you get in contact with one of us, we can get you on the books. We can come out and do it for you, and we can sit down and go over what those numbers mean. So you can actually have a plan going into that winter whenever we don't have any forages out, we don't have any grass growing, and if hopefully, I've been looking at the Farmer's Almanac. It shows that we're going to get a wet winter, so maybe a lot of snow coming in this winter.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Josh. That's not coming from me. That's coming from the Farmer's Almanac that I've read. So I see a very heavy snow winter. So don't mean to burst everybody's bubble. I came in here. We were having a good conversation. And here comes Mr. Doom. Everything's coming down.
Doom and gloom and snow.
And snow.
But on the positive outlook, if you're interested, we have our Farm City Field Day, our local farmers club. They do the annual Farm City Field Day, and it's going to be on September 13th. So that's a Saturday this year. So it used to be on Thursdays, but we're doing it on a Saturday this year just to see if that helps the attendance-wise. But we're doing the same thing that they always do on Friday. They'll go out and they'll dig the pit, and we've got beef donated by Triple D Ranch. We really appreciate them because without them, the meal cost would be very, very high, just the price of beef. So we really appreciate Triple D Ranch out there. So if you're interested and you have some free time, come on out. We're running from 3 to 7 p.m. We'll do some tours around 4 p.m. to go see some of the local agriculture here in Jackson County. Then at 6 p.m., if you can't make the tours, come out and enjoy a meal with us. Meals cost $10 and the sandwiches cost $8. We're still looking for some local sponsors to try to get that meal cost down because we do like to have it where the community gets together. That's the main reason we do this program is just to have that community get together. And then we also have a pie auction. So the Jackson County Farmers Club, they do an annual scholarship for any type of seniors going to college or into any type of post-secondary program. We do an auction where we do a scholarship for them. We've also got Farm Science Review. So Farm Science Review, it's up in Madison County. So this is the big agricultural trade show. I don't really know the best way to describe it. It's its own thing. So it's up in Madison County. It's the week of the Apple Festival, which kind of causes some issues here in Jackson County, but it's definitely something, if you're interested in agriculture, something to take a look at. They've got a bunch of tractors. It's super massive. I'll be up there all 3 days. I do a program called Ask the Expert up there where we get a bunch of different types of extension specialists, different people that are specialists within their area, and we just have a conversation. It's like a talk show. It's kind of like this.
Mhm.
So I will be on the other end just asking them questions. So come up, find me. I know a bunch of our FFA students, they get to go up there one day. So if you go up there, try to search for your FFA, see if you can find them, and get to see the new and improved stuff that they're doing in agriculture.
And you'd still be back for the weekend, so
Yes.
you can
Oh, yeah.
still come and enjoy the Apple Festival,
Yeah.
the band,
Yes.
Yeah.
the band, plus all of the other bands, but
Yeah.
the band,
The band.
the band, and enjoy the Apple Festival.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
And Farm
Yourself time.
Science Review is really cool, especially maybe for a person that's not even as well versed in agriculture,
Mhm.
because they have all of this educational stuff. I think that's the main point of Farm Science Review is education. So there's so many displays that you can walk by and read and be informed. And then, you know, your big ag companies, you know, John Deere and all of these really cool companies come and they bring in their new technology, you know, all of the cool
Wow.
new innovative stuff that's coming out, and you get to go and learn all about it. And
So is it open to the public? Like,
It
so
is.
anybody can sign up to go? Or?
Yep. So we have tickets at the extension office. Pre-sale tickets are cheaper. They're $10 a ticket. If you don't buy pre-sale tickets, $15 at the gate. So it's not super expensive to get in, but it's definitely
It's
something.
kid friendly too. There's a 4-H
Oh, yeah.
tent.
There's different, that whole tent, they've got like 12 different activities kids
Yes.
can go in and do.
Yeah, it's
So-
very cool.
And getting their pictures by just big combines.
Yeah.
I think of Maddie's nephew, he would just love it. He'd just
Yes.
see all the big tractors and everything
Yeah.
moving around. He would just love it. So anyone can come, and it's a great time.
Yeah. And it's like, think of it kind of like a county fair, but not. They have your typical, you know, elephant ear stands, and I know share with their famous cream puff. So they've got really great food too, if you're a foodie like me. But they also just have some really cool educational tours. You can climb on a wagon. They'll take you out into the fields and show you what they're working on, you know, what kind of research they've been doing. They'll have some livestock there occasionally and kind of show you some things that are going on with that end of things. It's just a really, really cool event. It's the Molly Karen, which is an OSU owned property that just kind of fosters that extension, outreach, education, and agriculture throughout the state. So it's really cool.
Is it always held in Mason, or is it? Okay.
Yep. Always in Madison County, just about 45 minutes outside of Columbus. So it's not super far, probably about 2 hours from here.
Okay.
But on the other note, we've got our Hunter's Education class. So that's going to be the Saturday after Farm Science Review and the Saturday of the Apple Festival. So if you've got time, come out Saturday and get your Hunter's Education class. Let's get anybody ready for hunting season. So they'll walk away with their ODNR hunting safety card. So it's a great program if you have any youth or anybody that's just wanting to learn more how to be safe whenever we start getting into deer season here in a couple months. And finally, at the end of September, I've got my AI school. So the Jackson
But it's
County,
not the AI that you would think.
it's not artificial intelligence. So if you come out looking to see iPads, you're in for a rude awakening. So we do beef cattle artificial insemination. So this is teaching farmers about how to use different AI protocols, being able to get successful artificial insemination done. This class is almost filled up. I haven't looked this morning, but last I checked, we only had 4 spots left.
Awesome.
So if you're interested, you need to jump in real quick if it's still open. I would highly suggest it. And the cost down there is $150. So it is kind of pricey, but if you look at other AI schools, this is a very, very cheap school. If you look at other AI schools, you can look anywhere from $600 to $1,000 for just a class. So this covers all your materials, all your food. So it's a great program that we have and put on through at the Jackson County Agricultural Research Station there. And with that, that's all I do in September. So not a whole lot, just a little bit.
Nothing.
Just
That's
nothing.
just the month of September alone.
And I mean, September's a crazy month here. I mean, there's just so much going on. I mean, we have Apple Festival. I mean, that's a given. But I mean, we've had events from all over the area that all seem to be happening in September, and that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
But so I mean, nothing is slowing down. So if you're looking for things to slow down, this is not the time for it to slow down in southeastern Ohio for sure.
And
So-
college football is back. We had a great opening weekend. I know it has nothing to do with my job, but a
Go
great
Bucks.
opening weekend.
Go
yes,
Bucks.
Yes, we did.
Horns down.
It was not a one-hit wonder last year. That's what it proved. It was not a one-hit wonder. It was funny. We were traveling on Saturday, and so we weren't sitting and watching the game. And but every time I'd stop, we would run into somebody who was wearing an Ohio State hat or wearing an Ohio State shirt, and I'm like, have you checked the score? And they're like, yes, and they're like talking to us on our road back from Kentucky. So like every time I'd stop to get like something to drink or go to the bathroom, or whatever, I would run into somebody and they'd be like, oh my gosh, go Bucks! Or my husband was wearing his hat, and they're like, nice hat.
Yeah. Saturdays in our household, every single game. We watch the noon game, 3:30 game, 7 o'clock game, just right on through every single one of them. We have to do the whole analysis. Just college game day starts at 9 a.m. We have to watch college game day and then the noon game. Yeah, it is a all-day affair.
Well, this week it's College Colors Day, too. So if you don't know this, you need to be rocking your red and your scarlet and gray on Friday. Liv, is it Thursday or Friday? I can't remember. Thursday. You need to be rocking your scarlet and gray on Thursday. It's National College Colors Day. Wow. Not that the people around here don't wear red and gray every day.
Well, I think that's my whole wardrobe. Yeah. I've got an Ohio State shirt on under this. I just wear this because it's chilly in the morning.
Josh and I are both 2-time graduates of Ohio State, so I'm sure we've got plenty.
Recent too. Congratulations!
Thank you.
They both just finished their masters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't follow the extension office on Facebook, you should.
Yes.
But yes, they just finished their masters. Yep. So exciting.
Yeah. Josh did some really cool research. Why don't you tell them about your research?
Yeah, so we did some research on looking at Appalachian farmers' preferences whenever they are trying to have some type of program or finding out information. So the first thing we looked at is how do they get their educational stuff? So if you were a farmer and you're just like, I want to know the average crop yield, what are you going to do? Are you going to A, go to your extension educator? B, are you going to ask other farmers? C, look online? We had a whole different outlet of different types of places that they might go to find that information. So we had 176 farmers participate in that survey, and we got a lot of information looking at that educational stuff. We also looked at promotional material. So where would you like to get promotional material from? And we broke it up between age. We broke it up from farm size. We got quite a bit of cool results. If you're interested, reach out to me and I can get you a whole list because it is a lot to look at. It's a lot to talk about. And we'll probably need another hour and a half to talk about that specific topic. But if you're interested, it's pretty cool results. When you look at this younger generation moving into farming, what are they going to be looking at? How are they going to be getting their information? So kind of a little bit selfish way for extension. How is extension going to adjust once these younger farmers come up? Are we still the prime source for that non-biased information, or are younger farmers, are they looking somewhere else? So I'll leave that to cliffhanger. You have to look at the reports to see what it's like.
My study was a little different. I studied emerging adults, so 18 to 25-year-olds in the Appalachian region of Ohio. And I studied the concept of rural brain drain, which is the loss of educated and workforce-ready young people from rural areas to more urban areas. Okay. So basically my research question was, are young, educated, workforce-ready individuals leaving our region? Where are they going and why, basically. So it was a massive study on migration patterns, life course priorities. So are young people in our area more interested in maybe settling down, getting married, having children first? Are they interested in getting an education, finding a job? Maybe it's their caregivers for family members. What is that priority that kind of drives some of those migration decisions? Is it affordability? Just anything kind of related to those aspects. So it was a really cool study. I really enjoyed it. I had 383 participants, and I found out that a majority of young people in the region that are educated, so they have some sort of degree of higher education or trade certificate, something of that sort, are migrating out of the region. And so we do have this aspect of rural brain drain happening in our area. And so then that kind of led me on to discuss what are some of those mitigation strategies that leaders in our areas, school systems, economic development, local governments, those sorts of things can kind of employ to maybe keep people interested in either retaining in the region or in migrating to the region. So that's my cliffhanger. And if you want to kind of learn more about my study, I can send it to you and you can read it as well.
Now, that's super interesting because we talk about the aging of the community and how that impacts our area and what this county and this area and this region is going to look like in the coming decades. So,
yeah. So we both had a lot of fun researching and
Lots of fun.
Are we glad that it's over? Yes.
Yeah, I remember that day. I remember that day.
But thank you, and we appreciated the patience from our community and allowing us to kind of focus on that while we worked at the same time. So, but yeah, we've.
Well, it sounds like both of your research topics impact our area.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
So it would be self-deprecating if we didn't. So it seems like we're getting more out of it than the patience that we may have put in. So. So it's always great to have you back.
Yeah.
I've gotten them to commit. They're going to be back monthly. So very exciting. They always have amazing stuff coming up and awesome programs going on out at the Extension office and the great things that you do in the community for our youth and even for our adults that are out in the community and the support that you guys give. So
thank you.
So we are appreciative of that.
Yeah.
And we will see you next month.
Yes.
And Pete Wilson is in the house. So after a word from our sponsors, we will be back with all the weekend's headlines.
From breaking news to heartwarming stories, the Telegram is your ticket to the latest buzz in town.
Read your daily dose of local headlines, sports, and entertainment and more, in hand and on paper.
Get a print and digital subscription for only $7.95 per month. Delivered fresh every Wednesday and Saturday.
Visit thetelegramnews.com or call 740-286-3023 today.
Don't just read the news, be a part of it.
Did you know Jackson is home to a locally owned and operated full-service print shop? Zip Printing covers all your print, signage, and design needs. From business cards, booklets, and posters to yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, oversized signage, and more. We can help you or your business advertise and look good doing it. Zip Printing also offers logo design. Allow us to assist you in building or elevating your brand today. Zip Printing is located in the Stockmeister Plaza at 708 East Main Street in Jackson, Ohio. So stop in or give us a call at 740-286-3023.
Welcome back. And we are here with Pete Wilson, and I am sure that you have lots of news from us. It was a busy weekend, so.
Right, okay.
Busy, long weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do have to lead off, of course, which is not just a story for us here in Jackson and Vinton counties, but really in the entire area. The tragic death of a Wellston police officer that occurred in the early morning hours on Saturday. For the uninformed, we'll give you the skinny. The man who lost his life, 25-year-old Matthew Juniper. He had been a Wellston police officer for this 4 years. There is Matthew right there. He was actually from Athens County, the Nelsonville area, but he had been in Jackson County for a number of years, 5 years, I think, about that, as a law enforcement officer, first with the Jackson County Sheriff's Office and most recently with the Wellston Police Department. The crash that took his life, tragic for sure, but it actually happened off-duty. It was an off-duty incident about 2 a.m. on South Pennsylvania Avenue around the 6th Street intersection. He was on a golf cart with fellow police officer Brant Darrow, and they were hit from behind by a car coming up behind them. It knocked the golf cart off the road into a tree. Matthew Juniper was taken to Holzer Medical Center Jackson Hospital, where he was confirmed deceased. Brant Darrow, the operator of the golf cart, was flown to Cabell Huntington Hospital in Huntington, West Virginia. I have learned that he was released over the weekend, has a long road of recovery, and from what I understand, obviously devastated about the loss of fellow police officer and who happened to be a very, very good friend as well. So that crash is still under investigation by the Jackson Post of the High State Highway Patrol. I spoke with one of the chief investigators yesterday. It remains under investigation. No other information has been released about whether there might be any charges involved in that. But once again, the operator of the car, the driver of the car, was a 17-year-old male from the Wellston area. And so once again, just tragic all the way around. It will certainly it affects the community. It affects the Wellston Police Department, because it's a small department. You're talking about two officers suddenly that aren't working.
Yeah.
One dead, and the other will be recovering for a while probably. So that's kind of like a sidebar thing that the city administration and Police Chief John Robinson are going to have to face. Follow-up information that we can give you. The funeral for Officer Juniper is going to be in Nelsonville at the Warren Brown Funeral Home, and it's going to be on Thursday at 4:00. There will be calling hours the afternoon before, from 4 to 8 p.m., and then an additional calling hour 1 hour before the funeral from 3 to 4 on Thursday. And the funeral will be officiated by Wellston Police Department officer and chaplain Michael Jadrosink, and then burial will follow there. We also have learned that there's going to be a tribute benefit breakfast in memory in memory of Officer Juniper and in support of his family. That's going to be at the York Township Fire Department. The York Township Fire Department is the township that surrounds the city of Nelsonville in Athens County. It's a large township. They have their own fire department, and Juniper actually was a member of the fire department. That was his home area there, and he was on the fire department and much respected, even though he was a youngster when he was there, for as long as he was there before he moved to Jackson County. But they will have a benefit breakfast there on Saturday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. at the fire department. It is on Elm Rock Road in Nelsonville, and it's by a donation only. But if you want to support the family financially, you can do that by donating or go to the breakfast, and they'll have a nice breakfast there. And the price of admission is simply a donation. Also, they are asking that in lieu of flowers on the funeral side, they are asking that donations be made to the K-9 unit of the Wellston Police Department and for Officer Brant Darrow, who, of course, suffered serious injuries in that crash. I'm going to read you a statement that the Wellston Police Department put out a couple of days after the incident, and nobody knew Officer Juniper better than they. Here it is, and I quote, "We were fortunate enough to have Matt Juniper join our team in 2021, and he fit right in like a seasoned veteran. Matt was truly one of a kind, everything you would want in a police officer and more. Compassionate and fair, hardworking, and dedicated to his craft. Fun to work with and a joy to be around. Matt was truly an asset to the city of Wellston and our residents. Matt will be greatly missed by everyone on our team and in our community." And of course, the family has to be devastated with the loss of Matt. His parents survive. He has a 1-year-old son also. So, that's so tragic. So, and I've seen this time and again. I'm sure it happens all over, but just the outpouring of support and grief and everything. The community, especially Wellston, all of Jackson County, the law enforcement community, the firefighters, they really come together in a time like this. I know that a lot is being done behind the scenes to support the family. So the story about the crash, as much as we know, and also about all the follow-up things that are happening, the funeral and like that, the benefit activities, the memorial activities, the statements that have been made. I told you about some of them just now here on Main Street Morning Show, but there is more, and all that will be in our paper Wednesday. We have some things posted now, and there'll be more in tomorrow's paper. So that definitely is your lead story. Another good thing that happened over the weekend, and it's a seminal event, and that was the return of football to the University of Rio Grande. And it was even more localized for us because the home games are being played at Jackson High School's Alumni Stadium. Okay, of course, the game is in the spotlight, but it was almost secondary to the event. The fact that for the first time since 1949, there is a football team at the University of Rio Grande, also a marching band. It just holds a whole layer to the college experience,
Oh,
and
100%.
it's one that most colleges have. And now the University of Rio Grande will have it. And the event on Saturday, outside of the fact that the team lost, was a great event, a great success. 30 to 40 members of the marching band. They sounded good. A lot of cheerleaders there, and there was a great attendance from the home side there. From the University of Rio Grande, alumni, students, people here in the community. We're throwing up some pictures now. Those are the cheerleaders there. You saw the band just before. That is one of the University of Rio Grande players catching a pass. I believe that ended up going for a touchdown. They were actually ahead in the game, 6-0, and then Defiance College had to come back and score 54 straight points to win 54-6. But remember, we are starting from the ground level with a new team.
I was impressed when I heard that they had well over 100 players on their roster. That's incredibly impressive for a first season team.
Yeah, and there's local players, local and area players, but they've also recruited from outside the area as well. That picture there, we're showing you that because number 13 in the red, that is one of our locals, Andy Meldick. He's a starting safety for the University of Rio Grande, an outstanding all-around athlete at Oak Hill High School. He's a true freshman starting for the Red Storm, and he is converging there to make a play, but I will tell you that at some point in that game, he also made an interception, one of the top plays for the team. So congratulations to him and the Red Storm, also Coach Mark Thurston as well. That is Coach Mark Thurston there patrolling the sidelines. He has done a great job. He actually was one of the assistant coaches and then had to be moved into the head coaching spot after, the man who had been appointed as head coach resigned. And so that was an extra challenge for him, but he's hanging in there. Rio Grande will play next Saturday, too, at Alumni Stadium at 3:30 p.m., and they will be playing Georgetown College. Speaking of the University of Rio Grande, there is their vaunted leader on the right. That is University of Rio Grande Community College President Ryan Smith. He has gotten a lot of credit for some of the positive things that have happened the last 2 or 3 years at Rio Grande since he's been in the leadership seat. Sheryl, before you came into our area, there was almost a crisis situation at the University of Rio Grande, financially related, and he has lifted that with, I'm sure, a lot of help and a lot of support that he's been able to generate. He is a Gallia County resident, a Gallia Academy graduate, so his roots are deep in the area, and he knows of the importance of Rio Grande to our area, particularly our 3-county area where the community college is, which is Jackson, Gallia, Vinton, makes 4 counties. And so he is pictured there with Jackson Mayor Randy Evans, who was there to show support. So it was also good for Jackson, gives them extra exposure with their stadium. There's a rental fee there that will help the schools. So, win all the way around. In our Wednesday paper, we're going to report on this heavily. We'll have a game story from sports editor Todd Compston. I give a lot of credit to Red Thompson Jr. He's got a side job on the weekend to earn some extra money working out of town, but he made time to not only go to the game on Saturday, and he kind of covered the atmospheric part of it as opposed to the game. And he has written a column which just came out of the oven, and we will have that in along with some of the pictures you just saw and more coming up in Wednesday's paper. A couple of other things to tell you about real quickly. We'll say so much more tomorrow, but the Ohio Hill Country Festival in Wellston will begin tomorrow. A 4-day run starts on Wednesday and will go through Saturday there in the historic downtown area. Also, it's kind of like a related story, My Brother's Place, which is the food pantry thrift shop in downtown Wellston. It's right there in the main street where they have the festival and the speaker stand and all. And because you can't get to it very easily without walking, and there's no parking because it's blocked off, they are closing for the week. So they want people to know that. It will be open again next Monday, but it's closed for the week. That's at 116 North Railroad Street. High school football, the Jackson Ironmen had a big victory. They defeated Gallia Academy 56-3 on Friday evening. Unfortunately, our other 3 teams lost. Wellston lost to Piketon 50-8. Vinton County lost to Unioto 48-8. And Oak Hill lost at Fairfield Christian 27-14. Speaking of college football, I got to say this. A 2024 graduate of Jackson High School, Cade Wilford, was one of the outstanding running backs in the school's history. He decided to go Division I, true Division I, to Kent State University. They're kind of rebuilding. They had a 21-game losing streak going into Saturday. Well, guess what? They broke that losing streak 21-17 over Merrimack College, and Cade had a whole lot to do with that.
There you go.
Cade, number 21. He has always been a running back, one of the top running backs in Jackson High School history. His daddy was too. Proud daddy, a former JHS coach as well. But Cade has been converted to slot receiver. He runs the ball some, but mainly he's a pass catcher. All he did was catch a 79-yard touchdown pass and a 30-yard touchdown pass in a 21-14 victory. So you know.
All he did.
That's all he did. And as a matter of fact, this is a little trivial thing, but it's something he will never forget, and Jackson football fans and supporters of the family will ever forget. In the NCAA Division I statistics, this is all the schools, Ohio State all the way through. His yards per reception average is tops in the country. He had 2 catches, only 2 catches, but both were touchdowns, 109 yards, so you can do the math. 54.5 yards per catch. That may only last this week, but he is number 1 in the country for yards per reception.
He can at least claim it this week.
Right, exactly.
Way to go.
Right, exactly. Some quickies. Bridge replacement project is starting today on Dixon Run Road. This comes from the Jackson County Engineer's Office. Dixon Run Road at 1/2 mile east of Irwin Road will be closed for approximately 3 weeks due to a bridge replacement project. Also, the Vinton County Republican Party has announced that it still has some tickets left for its big dinner where they will welcome Ohio gubernatorial candidate and former presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. They have sold a lot of the tickets already, but the party has let us know that some tickets are still available at the Griffith Law Office in West Main Street in MacArthur. You can also call Vinton County Republican Party leader Cindy Wall at 740-352-7902. The city of Jackson has announced its list of street paving that's going to go on this week. The streets that we paved starting today, somewhere they're starting today, but the roads that are on the schedule this week are Beaver Pike from Westview School to High Street, Watts Blevins Street, Broad Street, Walnut Street from Broadway Street to South Street, and Locust Street from the alley to Broad Street. Also, the city of Jackson has announced that it will be in the process of moving from the Memorial Building to the AmVets Building, which is its temporary home at 200 Broadway Street. It's just a block away, but there's going to be lots of trucks and moving and inconveniences that are going to be involved in that as far as getting a hold of people. But that has to be done because demolition of that historic memorial building will probably start maybe as soon as the week after the Apple Festival. Wow. That would be Monday, September 22, and so you got to move. So they'll be doing that and trying to operate at the same time. So that's our busy weekend from our Labor Day weekend. We have so much more to tell you, but we'll try to play some catch up tomorrow.
And a lot of it will be in the paper tomorrow.
A lot of it will be in the paper tomorrow.
Because today's Tuesday. Even though I keep thinking today is Monday, today is Tuesday.
No, the holidays can throw you off. Labor Day is kind of nice in a way because there's lots of good things going on. We had that tragic happening, unfortunately. Yes. But everybody likes to celebrate because they know that it's kind of maybe the last big weekend of the summer unofficially. And, school, all those other activities, and the weather's nice in the fall, but we know what's coming.
Yes.
We're in Southern Ohio. So enjoy it while we can.
And it was a beautiful weather weekend. I mean, we couldn't have asked for better. So
absolutely. We had all the rain, and now we're not getting any.
That's what we were talking about with Josh. Yeah. We had that really wet spring, and then now we're all dry and brown again. So, right. Okay. Unfortunately. So.
Well, we got to ride with it, don't we?
Weather's the weather. We don't have any control. So,
absolutely.
Unfortunately. So thank you for joining us today. And we will be back tomorrow with another great guest and our good friend Pete Wilson. So we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye-bye.